All right, so I heard you say you were thinking this morning in a lot of ways this game reminds me of way back in the day MMOs. I'm gonna say this. This game is a solid 8. And you know that I don't give 8s. I give 8s for like the disqualifying, like we started at 10, we work our way down. This game is a solid 8. So much so that this game, and I'm not bullshitting, this game could have been a 9.5, an honest to God Jalan 9.5, if they had just done a little bit more with the tutorial, the player acquisition experience. They could have very, very easily made this a 9.5 or a 10. Probably not a 10. They would have had to do quite a bit of patching up of things, but what overwhelms you when you first start this game is that there's really no good tutorial. They tried to do like a crawl, walk, run, but unfortunately they stumbled over their feet very, very, very quickly in the tutorial. You're tripping over yourself, and like I got overwhelmed. Like, I'm the number 3 chief physician in my sect, and I understand that I'm the 2nd rank, and I understand that now, because rank up was last week, which Sunday is the swap over, I understand I can't rank up for another week. Now, that's a really bad way to start your game. I'm sorry, I had to choke that down before it got warm. So what occurred was, because I couldn't get squared away, I partially dislocated my thumb on Thursday. So on Friday, I was in a lot of pain. I streamed for a couple hours on Friday, and then Saturday, my hand was just killing me. No, I do not have a guild. I joined a guild. I did not make a guild. If enough people from the community all said they were going to come to the game, this game is so good I would be motivated to run a guild. But at first I was like, I don't think this game is it. I don't think the game is all that in the bag of chips. Now I've come to realize the game is all that, the bag of chips, the drink, the cookie, the condiments. This game is solid. Where people are going to get so frustrated with the game, though, is this. Is this. And then here's my journal, but my journal doesn't tell me what quests I'm going. And then I'm going to go into events. Is the monetization so good? There's no... because I'm not 100% sure what everything does yet, I can't say for certain there's no pay to win. But what I can say is that I haven't traced down every single currency. Yeah, this game just launched in the Western world on Friday. It's been out in China for about a year. But to the best of my running everything down, I didn't find anything that is pay to win. I did not find any pay to win. It's splitting hairs, so there's ways to improve faster. Kind of. But because your upgrades are all tied to your leveling, the only thing I could see is if you decided you wanted to unlock all the weapons and bring them all up at the same time. Like, for example, I have the Infernal Twin Blades. And I have the Curing Fan and the Spear. I stopped the Spear at 37 because I got the Twin Blades. I could get the Damage Fan and then I'd be able to better build out my set. But I like the Infernal Twin Blades. Because who doesn't want to be an edgelord? If you get pearls, you get free in-game Jade coins. If you spend those pearls on mats for gear upgrades and martial upgrades, however, your time gated, so you can only get to your level anyway. Right. That's the thing. Like, I don't think... I do understand that you can pay to win, pay to ... I'm not gonna call it pay to win. You can pay to horizontal progression. Like, I have no interest in using the sword. I have no interest in using the umbrella. So I really don't want the MMORPG genre reshaped. This cannot be called an MMORPG from what I've seen so far. Well, then you should look better. And the reason why you should look better is, as I said the other day, and even I got confused, there's solo mode, there's co-op mode, and then there's online mode. And everybody was saying, oh, there's only like 4 people, there's only like 10 people. Shit, man, if I go to the main town, it's full of people. If I go to the main town in the first zone, if I go here right now, there's probably going to be 30 or 40 people right here. Hey, appreciate the follow. Oh, look, it's Timmy. We haven't seen Timmy in a while. But I think this game fixes so many problems with the MMORPG genre. And best of all, this game just cooks the fucking corpse of Ashes of Creation, which after Friday's fucking reveal, I'm only a couple hours in, so I'm still trying to get accustomed to all the menus. Should I save my Jade coins early on, or is it okay to spend them? It depends on what you're spending them on. Like, for example, and let me give you how good the game is. I was up till 4 in the morning. I maxed my level. I healed until my eyes were gonna bleed. Where am I in the list this morning? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 6 down on healing. Well, no, you don't want to do whatever. Where the fuck is the menu? I do apologize. Not even top 5. I didn't even figure out healing till yesterday after reset. See, this is where it kills me, because there's too many fucking... There's too many fucking menus. Where's the... Your profession development. If you're going to be a scholar or a physician, or you're going to do both, you're going to want to be able to buy out all of the career notebooks every week. And then you're going to want to buy out the gift boxes if you're only doing scholar or physician. Other mages, not really. It's based upon Chinese history. So there's no direct mages. The healers are kind of magey, but no. Can I do a group event and show you how healing looks like? Yeah, that is going to be on my list of things to do today. Let me see. And this is what kills me, because I find these menus. It's like the fucking... The menus, I can never remember where the shit anything is. This is what, I'm presuming you do a bit of everything. You can do a bit of everything. You can stick with the things you want to do. Right now the game is time gated, so people aren't all the way off to the races. But there are more things coming, because like I said, the game's been out for about a year in China. Where the I hate finding everything in this game. Oh, how much energy do I have? 74. Okay, let me open up a... This is the other place that I think there might be a pay-to-win problem, depending on how many of these you get through the advanced battle pass. But I have to go through and specifically look. But yeah, you can see even on the menu, you got to go on the menu to find everything's everywhere. Every fucking thing is everywhere. Sword trial, Cold Mountain Pass. Yeah, we'll do. If you think what you're gonna ask me for is gonna kill my vibe, don't kill my vibe today. All right, so there is open world content. There's open world bosses. So I'm one of the 2 healers.
The war drums sound. It is time to march to the north.
So I haven't done Umbrella yet, and unfortunately, you can't make alts. So this game's healing reminds me a lot of Revelation Online. These guys are about to be toasted.
What's right? What's wrong? Reckless war.
They don't know the mechanics. The 2 ads can't get to the boss. The 2 ads get to the boss. If the 2 ads get to the boss, it's over. How do you make an alt? I went to look and it doesn't give me like a drop down to make a second character. I do like the fact that there's the in-game DPS meter that also is your heals per second meter. You can direct heal if you have to, but because it's an action game, I do like one thing that they did. One thing that they did with the healing was they made it smart targeting. So when you use an ability, it's usually go to the person with the lowest remaining health. Are the boss fights like a Souls game? Very much so. Two things that can happen in the boss fights is you can ask a companion to show up, which is an NPC, or you can party up for, or you can co-op up for some stuff. So for this part, you need to get on the horse and you need to use the tilde key to charge. You have to break that bar, otherwise it's a wipe. Yeah, if you don't want to auto target, or if you don't want to manually target, you can, the abilities are smart target. That is always one of the downsides to action combat. Can the hotkeys be changed, or are they fixed? You can customize your hotkeys. So, is it the most amazing combat I've seen? No. I mean, trying to hit a dying panic monkey with a heal would make some kind of smart targeting. Well, yeah, and therein lies the biggest part of the problem. It's not always it's not always the healer's fault. I can't heal you if you run out of range. And I also, people have to remember, healers can't heal dead. Like our other healer doesn't understand. I can't heal dead. Oh shit. Yeah, like that, guys. Like, I do not know what it is about this game. People want to tank against the edges. They didn't really, did they not teach the tanks much about their job? Hey, look at that, I'm the best in the game. I did 14% of the damage, 11% of the tanking, and 79% of the healing. The guy that does the main healing shouldn't do more damage than one of the damage dealers. I do like this. My big fat head in the way. 60 energy to open 1, 120 energy to open 2. I do like the fact that you can, if you don't have time to run a bunch of dungeons, you can run less dungeons and double or triple up on the loot. That's another one of the places where I need to do some more deep diving. I need to deep dive and make sure that you're not able to get more energy through any of the premium battle passes. If the healer is doing the best damage, why bother having people deal damage? Well, there are some guilds that have built themselves around the idea of everybody's going to be a healer. So there are a handful of people that want to put all the healers into one guild. I don't think it's the best idea.
I'm flying.
I think they called themselves a union is what I saw. As far as this game, you need healers and you need physicians. And what's really gonna confuse some people is there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are, was it 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's 11 sects. And the healers, the physicians have to be in Silver Needle. I mean, they don't have to be, but it's like one of the professions fits into one of the sects. And like, I had to make the decision. Do I want to worry about being in the Midnight Blades for Infernal Dual Wield or in the Healer Union? So.
Come on in, young wanderer.
I wonder
One
if Meow
bite,
Meow's
and you'll
asleep.
never
Also,
forget
during the
taste of
day,
our
I'll
pepper.
get little icons, and they'll say, like, you'll see me throughout the day come into this menu and offer to heal people. Because it's one of the two ways that I can raise my healing. By healing people. If I find, I don't think there's anybody left on the map I can heal. And maybe if I go this way, but I don't know if we can go this way yet. I think we can't go this way for like another day.
Hey there, young wanderer.
It's like some parts of the map. Like, I'm 30% done with the map. In 28 hours, I'm only 30% done with the map overall. And then there's some things that's just going to take a little while longer to get done with. Like, this world boss I can't beat yet. He's a pain in the ass. Yeah, I mean, for free, you might as well. The game, the game is literally free. Even if you get 50 hours out of it before you get frustrated, I mean, that's like a good two and a half weeks. The other thing, they do time gate you, so you can't, like, I'm stuck time gated at level 40. And it won't be 5 o'clock today. It'll be 5 o'clock tomorrow. That then I can break through. But my XP is all stored. So it's a weird throttle. It's good because it doesn't say you won't be earning any XP at all, so fuck off and go play something else, which a lot of games unfortunately do. They're basically like, hey, fuck off. This game wants to keep you in as much as possible. Like, event. This week, co-op exploration, 60 minutes. Did that. Participate in Breaking Army 2 times. I don't know what that is. Every Tuesday, every Friday. So, I have to do that. This game on Steam, yes it is. It's Where Winds Meet, and it is on Steam. Participate in cargo delivery. Participate in the guild party. Participate in showdown 2 times this week. Every Wednesday and Saturday. So, like, I feel like I'm gonna need to, like, make a calendar here soon. Like, there's so much. No, I didn't look at shit. I didn't do show prep for today because I knew I wasn't going to do politics. At about 11 o'clock last night, I realized I wasn't doing a politics show. Hey, I love your content. I'm also a streamer and wanted to reach out with some support. Let's link up on Discord. No. Let's see. Oh, well, that's... See, my guild leader is only level 30. Not cool with that. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Ivy League school has free tuition if your family means is under 200K a year. Was that John Hopkins? Oh, by me, just putting holes in the ground. Yeah, John Hopkins undergrad. What up, Don? Been holding it down. Your gaming takes mean more to some of us than you may know. Very refreshing and very real. If someone would do a process improvement event, we'd all be playing an MMORPG together. I appreciate that, man. And I'll talk about the next one because it links up. Any thoughts on Ashes of Creation going on Steam Early Access? Yes, here's my thought, and I don't give a shit if somebody clips it and sends it to Steven. Steven just sold his entire community out. Steven sold a bill of goods. Steven was very emphatic. Steven once tore my head off in a public channel saying that a word doesn't mean words, that it doesn't matter how I think a word means, it matters what the word means. And I said, well, that's fine. You wanted to reopen Alpha 1 sales because you were broke, you needed to make another couple of $1 million, that's fine. When Ashes of Creation crashes and burns, people are going to turn around and somehow I'm going to be blamed. Because I already am blamed. I've been blamed. How the hell can a streamer who has, at the moment, 19 viewers, but I never had more than 300 people. Well, a couple of the times I had 1,100 people watching me play Ashes. But for the most part, I never had 300 people of my own in an Ashes 101 store. If that's the case, then how the hell is it my fault that Steven doesn't listen? It's like, there is a reason why leadership is a skill that very few people have, and management is a skill that is taught. Very few people can be taught leadership. Yeah, it's not hard to say that they need additional money. It's not hard to say development has gone on longer than anticipated. You are correct. But the big problem with Ashes of Creation going onto Steam is that Steven was emphatic that he wasn't going to do it. In fact, Steven was emphatic about why he wasn't going to do it. And then, yeah, Steven has already paid for the entire game. The core viable product, I'm funding that. Yeah, you sold exclusive keys, and then you opened it up publicly. Then you opened it up for cheaper. Then you put it on Steam, and now you're going to call yourself early access. This is my belief. This is my opinion. I think that because I have my hands on a lien document that Steven Sharif put his own personal wealth onto backing Ashes of Creation for a loan from a person that already owns 9.7% of Intrepid Studios. That Steven has done the math. He's looked on the numbers and he said, shit, I need to make money because I'm screwed. He wants, my belief is that he's going to make enough money out of the Steam sales that very quickly we're going to see the loan document from the Yaya Legacy Trust that Steven's also a guarantor on. We're going to see that disappear because he's going to pay back Jason Karamanis and the Yaya Legacy Trust. He wants to get his own name off the betting line, and then the game will flop, but Steven won't be, he won't be held to task for it because that's how life works. People have said, well, Steven has promised to pay back all the Kickstarter backers. Yeah, but he never received any money from any Kickstarter backers. And that's what people who don't understand business want to spend all their time arguing with me about. You never did business with Steven Sharif. You did business with Intrepid Studios. As long as Intrepid Studios goes back to their Kickstarter and writes about a 2-page write-up about their failure, you can't do, there's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And the reason why is because failure isn't criminal. Incompetence isn't criminal. Like, this guy gave me a quest, and I have no idea what quest he gave me. This is another bit of a thing. I talked to an NPC. Maybe this is the quest he gave me. If they really want to pull some cash, Steven should create an AOC shitcoin, mint it, and rug pull. No, unfortunately, and I will say this, this is in what dire straits Intrepid Studios is in. I used to say, could I save it? As a project manager, a guy who for multiple years in the military was sent to fix shit that nobody else could fix. Like, $138 million missing. Senjalan. He's not nice. He's not polite. He's going to piss people off. But at the end of the day, there's $138 million missing. He's going to find it. He'll probably find 136 million of it, and then he'll tell us who made off with the other 2 million. You got a fucking piece of software that's multiple years late, Senjalan. Because he doesn't give a shit about credit. He doesn't give a shit about accolades. He doesn't give a shit. Like, because I knew my promotions were always going to be guaranteed. I knew I was going to make major. In fact, oddly enough, the year that I got retired, promotion to major in my year group was 100%. And I know I come off as an insufferable know-it-all. However, the people that have been in my community for a long time will back me up on this. Every single thing that's happening now with Intrepid Studios is something that I predicted multiple years ago. Multiple years ago. I said, if you need to make money, you should do this. I was thinking about it last night at 4 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep because I'd played this. Instead of Intrepid is my cuss word. Give me 1 second because I want to show something relatively funny. If I have it. Maybe. Do I have it? This is gonna go down forever as the piece de resistance of Intrepid Studios. I mean, they might as well just change their company logo to this. We're Inept Studios. I'll give you a, because I know I'm a loudmouth. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm a loudmouth. Let me say,
Hey there, young wanderer.
let me say this. Oh, and hold on. I have another one. I don't know where it is right now, but Intrepid Studios going into early launch. I have one with EA in the middle of it. Game name, Where Winds Meet. This is Where Winds Meet. You know what? That would probably be a smart thing. You know, since people on YouTube take care of that problem. But a couple of years ago, I said, if you need money, here's the way you should make no money. Yeah, no chat blur today, because there's a lot that goes on down there. If you need money, this is the way that you should go about it. What you should do is, instead of having rotating monthly cosmetics that you have to have a pack in order to buy, you should just open up the cosmetics for anybody to purchase. That way, if somebody wants to back your game for $5, they back your game for $5. What you're basically saying is, if you want to buy this particular skin, you can only buy this skin if you've already previously given us $500 or $400 or $250. I said that's not a way, that's not a good way to make money. Like McDonald's will sell you a soda for $1 because they make money on selling you a soda for $1. McDonald's don't give a shit if you walk in and just get a soda. And what they're hoping is that you'll walk in, you'll just get a soda and maybe a McChicken and a small fry. But McDonald's don't give a shit if you walk in just to buy a soda. What I said Intrepid should have done years ago was, number one, instead of promising, like, work with me here for a second and you'll see I've thought this shit through. And I'm going to use myself. We're going to come up with two cosmetic packages. We're only going to do the concept art. We're going to do one steampunk and one infernalist. And what we've decided is we're going to do steampunk and infernalist, and we're going to take our content creators and we're going to say, hey, content creators, you're either on team steampunk or team infernalist. And what we're going to do is we're going to have voting for which kit we make. Not sell. Which kit we make. Now, here's the interesting thing. Every content creator, let's say you had 30 in your program, you tell them, you can be Team Steampunk, Team Infernalist, or you can stay out of this. You declare to us what team you're on, and then if that team wins the vote, every content creator on the winning team gets a free set of those cosmetics. What did I just do there? I just gave 30 people who are supposed to be your dedicated content makers massive talking points. what I've done is I've made it so your 30 content creators are all going to pick sides. And then they're all going to promote the cosmetics. Because in the back of their mind, they want their free shit. But remember, we haven't said anybody has to buy anything. You just have to go and vote on what one we're going to build. Now, I also said that Intrepid needed to change their entire business model. And what they should have done is, instead of selling you pictures, portraits, paintings of stuff, they should have built it first, showcased it, and then sold it individually. Now, I'm not saying I like the idea. The hell are you? I didn't put you there. I'm not saying I like the idea of selling cosmetics early. What I'm saying is, if you're already dedicated to the idea that you're going to sell cosmetics, then do it this way. And so Steven once said, oh, well, we don't need to do that because we don't need the extra money. When do you not need extra money? See, that's the part of that bullshit, which is why Intrepid's now doomed. Because he literally said, we don't need extra money. What does Where Winds Meet really do well at the moment? Here's what they do really, really well. They have created so much stuff to do that they didn't drip it to you very well, so it almost becomes overwhelming. But if I can get into one of the mini games, if I can find somebody to heal or somebody to debate, which I did most of them last night. Here, I'm gonna go over here. I've always been adamantly against mini games in professions because they always seem like bullshit. Right? The mini games absolutely always seem like a bullshit waste of my time. Let me go over here. Oh, hey. More stuff. You think Einstein is right there? I'll show you 6 foot, a game that's finally done mini games meaningfully. Now I'm gonna lose this one on purpose because I'm gonna talk through it. So Gift of Gab is debate. It's scholar. So this guy is a provocation. So I'm gonna go bluster to counter provocation. And now we have basically Magic the Gathering. 60% chance to increase trash talk. Deal 20% damage. Oh, there you go. He's dead. At first, this was really hard to get a handle on. And, you got to learn all your cards. But as they get harder, you'll lose this game multiple times as you're trying to get better at it. And now he likes me. The AI feature is kind of weird. I did talk to some mobs or to some NPCs. And sometimes I can say the right words with the NPCs and they like me. Other times I have no idea what their problem is. I'm not going to give Where Winds Meet like a gold star because they introduced AI chatting. I'm going to give them a gold star because it works. I'm going to give them a gold star because they introduced AI chatting, and now we're going to see if other game companies do. I think when it comes to interacting with an NPC, I think Black Desert Online did it the best. Out of, like, in that mini game with the things like 15, 20 years old. But like right now, with there only being 2 professions, that's kind of hard to right now it's kind of hard to get customers. I did okay yesterday, but there's way too many there's way too many positions right now. No, let me see if anybody has given me a gift today. It's not inconsequential. Nobody has. Yeah, nobody has sent me. It's this. It's right here, and it'll be notices. Your friendly AI or friendly NPCs will send you gifts. Legend has it an enlightened monk once achieved epiphany. Entering a state of meditation, he relinquished his infinite heart, his mortal body becoming a Buddha, and transformed into this tree. At that time, celestial maidens descended from the sky, facing the tree with tears. They sowed flowers beneath it. Did you say facing away from the tree or facing the tree? Facing the tree. Ding. Tries are done. Yeah, when you need healing, I just go to the NPC clinic and switch to online. It's where the NPC sends people she can't heal. So there's always people there. What are these people rabbiting on about? What are they all? What's the fucking nonsense they're spouting? If launch 2025. We'll see if that works. If there are codes, it's where I just showed you. So that person just requested a doctor. So.
Sorry if I'm being blunt.
And I'm required to charge for my healing as a member of the guild. Now, I'm not going to do the minigame on a player. I'm not going to make them stand here for it. But I'll show the minigame if I can find an NPC to heal. $207 likes. We're making progress. Jesus, Kira did a video. Yeah, it is. I think this game is very well done. I'm not in their creator program, so I'm not getting shit to say this, but I think this game is put together very, very well. It loses about a full point because it doesn't do a good tutorial. It doesn't do a good player acquisition funnel. But considering the fact that there's 150 hours or more of content for free, like totally free, not even like free 50, just totally free. This might reshape the MMORPG genre. Maybe not necessarily for the better. But what I love about it is the solo player experience is respected. They also make it possible to co-op. Yeah, there's no, oh, your bag only gets 5 slots if you're paying for free, or if you're playing for free. Exactly. They didn't do any of the cheap and dirty bullshit. 150 hours of gameplay for free. Very, very small potential for some pay to win. And I'm willing to let some of that slide if NetEase is willing to address it. Now, what I will say is, NetEase, there was a little tiny piece of pay to win in Once Human. And both times they said, we didn't see it like that, but since the player base sees it like that, we're going to reverse it. That's amazing. For NetEase as a company to suddenly be like the stewards of good publishing. That's what shocked me. That NetEase is becoming this like good publisher. But no, this game respects the single player experience. But it does you can do pretty much everything co-op. If you want to. There are some bits and bobs. There are some bugs with the co-op. I haven't experienced them, but people have told me. If you're gonna do stuff co-op, everybody needs to be together at the beginning, otherwise some people may not get credit. And then there's an entire open world, which I was sure there was an open world. And then when I was talking about this game, people were like pinging me and they're like, I might want to check that. So I checked it. They did a terrible job marketing this game though. They didn't really let the players know what they were going to be getting. Games where I have to do the quest again myself for credit is a turnoff. I don't think it's intentional. I think the problem, Adaptable Fox, is it's not intentional that you have to do it yourself. I think what happens is you don't see the cutscene, and then you join us, and then you don't get credit because the game was looking for you to queue into the cutscene. Yeah, NetEase must have done some in-house cleaning because they used to be pay to win. I only found out about it because a BDO creator I follow checked it out. Yeah, and that's where Letters from the Multiverse, that's such a I didn't put all that together in my brain right away. That's an awesome name. But you probably won't understand why I think it's awesome, because Rifts the Tabletop is also called the Multiverse. But and Erin Tarn travels the multiverse writing her book, so she writes letters to people. That's why it's funny to me. I have found lately games fall into a couple of different categories. Games are either really, really good and they have really shitty marketing, or games are nothing but marketing. Can I get him? But yeah, this game needed much better marketing. This game needed way better marketing because the game didn't know what identity it had. It's like, and they didn't have to do much. I don't think they had a lot to do in order to make it so that people would have understood the game. Oh shit. Some people are like, well, I don't like the fact that we're separated into solo play and group play. Right, but why? Like, why? And when people, Surgeon General, great game. It is a great game. When people are like, I don't like the fact that we're separated, but they won't ever tell you why. Well, I just don't want to. Yeah, because you're a fucking ganker then. If you're mad, people can play the game without ever having to interact with you and your bullshit and your temper tantrums. Congratulations. Turn around, look back at the last 15 to 20 years of MMOs, and you're the reason why they all suck. Because ganking, all PvP should be opt-in. Ashes of Creation is going to fail because Steven Sharif, he's at his core, he's a pay-to-win. He's a power gamer. He's a fucking bully. He's an exploiter. I watched him get his nation. He did the shit with the mob on the cart so it can't be interrupted. It's bullshit. People that are like, I really love open world PvP. Then why don't you go open world PvP against people who want to open world PvP? Do they ever do that? Fuck no. What do? They go pick on people that don't want to PvP. The people that love open world PvP will never say, I love open world PvP. They'll give you more than 3 words. I love contesting world bosses. I love castle sieges. I love caravan runs. I love when a small skirmish just keeps escalating as people come into allies. BDO is perfect. Open world PvP exists. Yes, you do run into assholes every once in a while, but I'm not getting ganked in years. But now here's the trick to that. Why does it need to be there at all? Does it really need to be there? Or instead of having open world PvP, could you have opt-in PvP that motivates people to want to do events? You want to run a caravan. Running a caravan is opting into PvP. Because you decided you want to engage in the PvP system. Like I said, I think the idea of having territory control is so important. You don't like team-wide buffs from PvP results? I think team-wide buffs from PvP results are fine. I think, for example, though, exactly what you just said is you have, say you have a game like Ashes of Creation, but run by a creative director who's not dumb. Instead of making every single member of the town a member of the garrison, do it just like the way the world is. You're a citizen of the town. You have these privileges. You're a landowner. You have these privileges. You're a landowning citizen. You have these privileges. You're a non-landowning citizen. You have those privileges. You're a member of the garrison. You have these privileges. What does being a member of the garrison mean? It means when the node is attacked via a siege, you're automatically registered to defend it. When the node is attacked in a war, you're automatically registered to defend it. Now, you can have your entire node system, and now you've just created another level and dynamic of, hey man, let's say, I'm gonna use, where the fuck did you go? We're a small node. We're gonna get that guild to 20 people to move here and be our garrison. And so every week we're gonna give their guild leader potions and food and scrolls and enchants, and we're gonna make their gear at cost. Why? Because nobody in our guild, nobody in our town wants to be in the garrison. Just look at the little change I made, and you want social friction. Well, how do I make a town defenseless? Hey man, I know that you're their garrison. We're sieging on Sunday. Here's 1 million gold. Be somewhere else. Here's 1 million gold. Go siege that other town for us. Go be somewhere else. Can't read that. Are you the famed craftsman they call Southern Woodcutter? I have come on behalf of Do Yu. I bear... Okay, whatever. Excuse me, can you hear me? Go chop down 10 more trees before you bother me again. Oh no. Oops. Well, at least I didn't kill him. See, not every tree needs to be gatherable. Didn't mean to hit you, buddy. Be mad.
Mama, look, what do you think of my dad?
Be mad at me. Rail axe gets nicked from the real work. Oh, you mean the axe? I just got this one. It's brand new. I brought this keepsake in the hopes you'll pass in the craft and artifacts bureau in Kefing. Come, I'll teach you the way of the worn blade. Grab your axe, follow me. You're chopping 100 trees today. Uh-oh. You spent 12 hours chopping down 100 trees until you were dizzy and seeing stars. Can I lay down now just a little? No! Heroes are made of tougher stuff than that. Team Axe and Hammer, we didn't pay them a single coin. We chopped our way from south to north, never once feeling tired. I'm only 28. I've still got strength to chase impossible dreams. Wait, you're only 28? Do you? Maybe he can't bear to leave the city either. I must be off now. The dialogue, I'm sure the dialogue is straight translated.
What do you think of my dancing? Mama, look, I'll dance for you. Mama says when she is tired, she sees me dance.
So here's the AI thing. Like you'll notice as I go down through here, these are all the people I've tried to talk to. Stranger, 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 stranger. These couple of people aren't strangers. Oh no, those were strangers that sent me messages. Okay, so
Mama says when she is tired.
make a friend. She hopes to gather enough food so she and her mother no longer have to worry about going hungry. Maybe you can help her figure something out. If you succeed, you'll befriend her and receive weekly gifts. Do you know where I can find some sweet wild fruits?
What
Hanging
do you
off
think of my dancing?
the fruit trees. Oh, you mean those tall trees over there? My mother and I have tried, but they're too hard to reach. Any tips? You could get a ladder. A ladder, that sounds helpful, but where would we find one? Good point. You could climb the tree. You dance, so you are nimble. Climbing a tree does sound fun. I'll try with my mother tomorrow. Thank you, Wanderer.
Mama says when she is.
And didn't get the job done. Hello.
Mama, look, I'll dance for
Hello. In chat, offer her berries. And don't be creepy with the AI chat. Follow the typical give and take dialogue for most. Hold on.
you. Mama says when she is. Mama says when she is.
Yeah. The pardon parade in progress. Oh yeah, there is also jail in this game. This game brings back the idea of Archage's jail. I don't know why. I don't know what I did yesterday, but I was a naughty monkey at some point, and I got a bounty put on my head. And so I ended up I think I stole from an NPC and he put a bounty on my head. So I ended up paying somebody to go take care of it for me.
I heard there's a bamboo grove in Qinghe. I finally made it there. They say the higher you go...
Where am I gonna find this hero?
I was all over the map yesterday. I played for like 15 straight hours yesterday. I shouldn't say straight. I mean, I went for a couple of walks and stuff. You must be the famed Western miner. Wrong man. I couldn't read cold stones, let alone souls. Nothing but spineless fence sitters. Is the story holding up? So I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really done the main story quest. I did everything else. There's a lot of dialogue. Like there's a lot of just click dialogue. Oh my god, this goes on forever. Oh, you only needed one copper? Cool. Oh my god. Okay, so I understand as a gamer what the point of all the dialogue is. The point of the dialogue is to waste your time. Just to give you something to do. But the dialogue is bad. The dialogue isn't like, oh my god, what the fuck, barbecue chicken amazing. This map is fucking look at this fucking map, man. Like all of these things are still things I need to do. Like that's done. That's done. That one's not. That one's not. Why did I not finish this one? But no, there is a ton to this game. Yeah. Suiza, what's really, really bad for me is I'm a physician, so I have to go to like the physician's like training hall every day, and it's a question, it's like a trivia thing, and it's Chinese history. So it's gonna be like okay, I guess, because I'll learn some stuff. But it's like, holy fuck, that's not how I do not want to spend my time like that. Yeah. I started having to make like cheat sheets. Like, what are the 3 parts of the Chinese army? Well, I knew that one. Like, who led the yellow turbans? Like, come on. I don't even know if I know that technique. Strategic sword inner track. I don't... Oh yeah, I don't have that at all. I've never unlocked that. Zhang Jiao. I thought it was Zhang Bao, but I was wrong. Luckily, it's multiple choice. Itch pot. Itch pot. Oh, heal the illness. Okay, we're gonna go over there. I want to show you guys the mini game. Because this is the piece that I thought. Remember I said if you're building a game, you need to build things inside of the game that could be standalone if you need them to be standalone. And the reason why you need them to be standalone is so that you could, in theory, monetize them if you needed to. I hear somebody coughing. Where are you? Where the fuck are you? Yeah, Dynasty Warriors put you through a lot of that.
Plants,
Okay,
flowers,
so
medicine. Then we can be cleansed.
well, no, you're the merchant. Where's the guy? Low ground. He's below me somehow. Oh well, I can't find these guys. What the fuck? Oh, hold on. Cave behind the broken house. You one of my sick guys? Oh, where are my sick people? There's my sick person. So this is where I think the mini game idea it works really, really well. So there you go. You have all the different possible things that you can cure, and it's just infectious skin inflammation. So you could eat, you have two different, so far you have two different decks of cards. And it's kind of like Magic the Gathering. Kind of. So he has the broken part of his body. I have to do 3,245 restoration to him. So, since I don't know how difficult this is going to be, we're just going to go with nice, easy, and simple. Now it's going to respond by getting a 190 point shield. And he's cured. I love the minigame because you could, in theory, bundle up the minigame, but as a standalone product.
I must go up there.
Right? And then use it just to entice people. You could do what Ashes of Creation was going to do with APOC. You could build a little launcher that just has your side stuff. Is this game of the year? That is a hard question. My answer is going to be no. It's not game of the year. The reason why it's not game of the year is because, number one, it didn't launch to 1 million players. It's not game of the year. It has all the trappings to be game of the year, but they didn't market it well enough.
Who can spend their
I
lives-
think that there is something to be said if your game doesn't breach 1 million players when it's free to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta keep it.
I'm starving.
So, if it was marketed better, it could be a hot new thing. Would it be better titled Cult Classic? No, Cult Classic isn't the right term. I would say if you're looking for a word to throw onto it, it's the diamond in the rough. It's the truffle in the pig trough. There's a lot of people that are gonna not think highly of it, because first of all, there's going to be people who are just, let's be honest, there's going to be people that are just blatantly racist, and they're going to say it's a Chinese game and it's got pay to win.
Near here, don't be afraid.
They're not going to do any other research into the game. They're just going to say it's a Chinese game, it's pay to win, which sucks because China has put out a couple of really good games in the last 2 years. I think Once Human is unbelievable. China has some bomb culture to make games about, though. I absolutely agree with you. And here's one of those mandatory, almost full point deductions I have to make from the game. when Western game makers make games, they generally make the games about a fictitious IP, which puts everybody on kind of like the same footing. When everybody's trying to learn about this new elven race, this new orc race, everybody's kind of on the same footing. In a game like this, obviously Chinese players are going to have a much better understanding because it's kind of their culture. It's kind of their heritage. The guards let you in to the monastery. Don't mind me. It's like Lord of the Rings for China. Except the problem is it's not Lord of the Rings for China. It's... I would say it's more King Arthur and the Knights of the Round of China. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is a particular instance of a genre. Wuxia is the genre. I think the best way, yeah, that's perfect. There's no better way to say that. I think that I think it's really, really good. I'm not saying it's not really, really good. What I'm saying is there's a lot of jumps. Were there stories of orcs and elves before? Yeah. There's Irish mythology talks about the Aoshi, which is what you would call an elf, long before let me see if I can find. I just always understood as Lord of the Rings defining our understanding of fantasy today. Not defining. Refining, certainly. Yeah, what about, let me see. Why is my fucking landscaper here? Fucking middle of November. So Tolkien, and I don't want to go down a whole thing about Irish fantasy writing. Tolkien took orcs, and he was obviously going to be inspired by, like the Fomorians, the twisted creatures, the goblins, the pixies, the puka, the pucks of like Irish culture. And I'm not a world literary mythologist, so I know the Irish piece of it. But yes, Tolkien some stuff. And a lot of people then took Tolkien's simplification, right? They took Tolkien's simplification, like, for example, without trying to go too far off into a tangent, but I like this tangent. If you've never read Changeling the Dreaming is absolutely amazing. There is multiple species of fey creatures detailed out. And the authors of those books spent a lot of time, the authors of the tabletop books spent a lot of time digging through Irish mythology to make that happen. But no, I wouldn't say Tolkien defined it. How do you open the door with the bell and lock door with the gold ring? That does not really, I'm sorry, that does not give me a lot to work with. The door with the bell and the lock door with a gold ring. No idea. You got me. I'm gonna need like, I'm gonna need a little bit more. I found this game very confusing. What do I do? There are so many side quests. When I went into multiplayer, it was like 90% of the content was emoting with other people. So that's the thing you need to understand about this game. If you go to the open world, most of your personal stuff is gone. Most of your personal quest stuff is for your solo and then your invited co-ops. The open world has its own content on it. I will say I haven't touched the main story quest since about level 7. I've been running around doing everything else. Should I get back to the main story quest? I absolutely should. Wow. The Quinfall. This is what the Quinfall just said. We are currently rewriting the entire game's story from scratch. Alongside the new combat system, the game's lore and storyline are also being rebuilt. If anybody is interested in contributing ideas or helping with the story development process, we would be happy to hear from you. Is there an advantage to doing the main story quest over side stuff? Oh, shit. Does it level fast? No, it doesn't level faster. I mean, obviously, if you follow the main story quest, then you're going to run into all the content. I've sort of jumped around, right? I've jumped around, go cure those two guys. I went and cured those two guys. I'm still at 8390 mastery. So I'm probably I have to heal harder stuff, but it's not about, let me stop people's expectation with a game like this. A game like this is not designed to do anything faster. And it's what's killing us as gamers with so many things. People have got to stop doing things faster. Like, if people want to get to max level really, really quickly, that's fine. But then those people, some of those MMOs do design MSQ to push you through the main levels faster than do side quests later. No, some of those, which MMO, I'm gonna stop you there. Don't say some. Name me an MMO. Because if you say some do that, like Lost Ark. Lost Ark's not an MMO. Lost Ark is pretty much a single player experience. Like, you don't, right, you can, dude, you can label anything as anything and then it pollutes the fucking purity. Like, well, why aren't more games like Lost Ark? What, you mean MMOs that are phone games that are masquerading as MMOs? Wait, Lost Ark is a phone game. It's a mobile PC cross. What makes this an MMO over Lost Ark? That's a great question. How many places in Lost Ark do you go do content with 50 or more people? I don't know. I don't know if you ever do. Quite a few. Okay, what do you do with 50 or more people in Lost Ark? Because I've never seen that. Like raids and stuff. No, in Lost Ark, you do not have 50-player raids. Legion raids are designed for 4 players per team. Okay, I'm gonna help you out with something. You can't give me an answer. I go look it up, it not be right, and then you say there are bigger events. It doesn't really help. There aren't any. Which events in Lost Ark? Give me the actual name of an event in Lost Ark that requires 50 simultaneous players for an event. Lost Ark's raids are instanced and are limited. Okay, let me stop you there. You've been on my show often enough that what I'm gonna say is this. You're wrong. The shit doesn't exist. You're remembering something, but I looked it up. Okay, open world events. I'm looking for any. Are you talking about field bosses? Because if field bosses are what you're talking about, okay, you can't say that's one type. I want you to look at how this conversation is going. You don't know what they are. I don't give a shit about Lost Ark. I'm saying, are you talking about field bosses? You're like, that's one. It's not my fucking talking point. Lost Ark, you never need more than 4 people to do stuff. Just because more people can be there doesn't mean you need more than 4. You can play Lost Ark with 3 people and never interact with anybody else. Like, for example, I cannot level my healing without other players. I mean, sure, I can get it up to a certain point, but I can't. I need other people playing the game who need me to be healing them. Is there any event that requires more than 4 to 5 people in this game? Yes. Is it in this build? Not right now. It's in the Chinese build. Remember, this game has been out for a year. So what you're going to see, we're going to get drip fed some content. There are other open world events, just not field bosses. Okay, but you need to know them. I don't fucking know them, But you're like, raids. No, raids are 4 people. Like, field bosses. Even, it says you don't need more than 4 people to do them. It's easier with 4 people. For example, you need 5 people to do the bosses in this. Now, I'm sure later on down the road, when people have 35,000, you know, Marshall's score, they won't need 5 people. I'm sure that they'll be able to carry it. But, and I'm not defending this as a full-fledged MMO. I'm absolutely not doing that. This has got the trappings of a co-op game, a solo player game, an online game. There's a lot of bits and pieces here. There's a lot of stuff. But when people bring Lost Ark into the discussion, who the fuck cares about Lost Ark? Are we really saying that Lost Ark, what does Lost Ark offer to the genre that we should be emulating? I played it, it wasn't that good. It was a phone game that was ported over to PC to make people think they were getting a PC game. How's the game? I personally think this game is a solid 8. If they had done some cleanup on the player acquisition experience, the early tutorial, I think this game could have been a 9. But they lost like almost a full point because they don't really make it easy to get into the game. But like, to go back to the point we were talking about, I don't think Lost Ark needs to come into the discussion of what a good MMO looks like. Like, obviously it didn't leave that big of an impression on you because you're like, I haven't played in a while and I don't remember them. But it's an example of an MMO with an MXQ that pushes your... Yeah, but it's not an MMO. See, that's the fucking problem. It's not an MMO. Final Fantasy XIV is an example of an MMO with an MSQ that pushes your level faster than doing the side stuff. ArcAge isn't. BDO isn't. You can level up multiple different ways. But why is Final Fantasy's MSQ meant to run you through a lot faster? Because for the most part, Final Fantasy XIV isn't an MMO anymore either. It's an interactive storybook. They have you on rails. They want you at this much XP at this point. BDO also pushes player level through MSQ a lot. I disagree with you. In BDO gives you the option to level up through the MSQ. I never did. I cleared out every town I went through. Lost Ark was decent. Combat felt pretty good. No, the fuck it didn't. No, can we stop? Can we fucking stop? Can we fucking stop saying shit like the combat felt pretty good in Lost Ark? Here's the bar. The combat in Lost Ark felt pretty good. That's what you just did. You just said that felt pretty good. Well, why are all these other games coming out? Why are all these other games coming out and their combat's like Lost Ark? Okay, and Viz, I'm not gonna fucking argue with you. You're literally making a point. Well, I did great and I fucking did otherwise. Your point is Lost Ark does this. Lost Ark's not an MMO. Then I say defend it as an MMO and you fucking can't. You can't defend your talking point. I looked up 4 different things. Great. You found doing the MSQ gave a huge amount of XP. Great. Lost Ark has a 16-person raid called Behemoth. Okay. Let's look up Behemoth. Let's see when it was launched. So their 16-person raid launched in 2024. And it was 5 years after the South Korean launch. Yeah, dude, it's great that shit came out 5 years later. Like, that's the shit you should have known at the beginning. You're the Lost Ark player. That you shouldn't have needed. No, they literally didn't. I'm telling you, they did not require more than 4. More than 4 just made it easier. They could be done with 4. But those are the things, if those are your talking points, you should have had all that. Okay, I'm not gonna fucking argue with you because I know people did them. I know 4-pack people that did them. Okay? People were like, this is what makes the game so cool. It doesn't matter if, holy fuck, I'm not gonna talk to you because you're so fucking stuck on the point. If you want to call Lost Ark an MMO, great. Here's my bar of what an MMO is. And you want to call Lost Ark an MMO, then you're the reason why the bar is the fuck down here. Great. If you think you want to call it an MMO, call it a fucking MMO. I want the standard to be back up here. I don't want the standard to be down here. I don't want to have fucking have 3 alts to play a game. I don't want to have to run the same content 3 times a day, every day, to feed mats back to my main. I don't consider that an MMO. I consider that a pay-to-win slop pile of garbage. If you want to call that MMO, fine. If you want to say it supports 50 people, great. WoW really defined the daily quest bullshit. No, WoW didn't. WoW took the daily grind and turned it into a different form of grind. What did you do in Final Fantasy XI? What'd you do in EverQuest? What'd you do in EverQuest 2? What'd you do in Anarchy Online? What did you do in those games? It doesn't fucking matter. What'd you do in all the other games? You got together, you formed a party, you marched out for 30 minutes to a spot you could grind. That's all the fuck you did every fucking day. All WoW did by making dailies was instead of running around. Yeah, and EverQuest had dailies before WoW ever released, but that's a different story. But in those other games, your daily was a 3-hour grind session. Okay? Again, Salty Bread, what you're saying is they felt decent. Lost Ark's combat was barely passable. Lost Ark's combat was regular Cheerios. It was regular Cheerios. It wasn't even Honey Nut Cheerios. It's that shit that you eat in the morning when you wake up and you're like, fuck, I'm hungover and I need something to eat. Shit, all I have is Cheerios. Let's see, and this is where I say to people, I don't give a fuck if it's your favorite game ever. Be critical of it. Be fucking critical of it. Lost Ark was main story quest dungeon raid. Well, it wasn't dungeon raid. It was Lost Ark was when you were done with your MSQ, do your dailies, log on to your alt, do your dailies, send the mats to your main, do your dailies, send the alts to your main. Like, we have to fucking stop defending garbage fucking games, or we'll get nothing but garbage fucking games. When you say Lost Ark was good, Lost Ark is a 4 at best. But it's my favorite game ever. I don't give a fuck. Your favorite game is a 4. Final Fantasy 14. It's, what is the first thing I say? What is the first thing I say about Final Fantasy 14 all the damn time? If you're a fan of fast combat, this is not going to be the game for you because it starts at character with a 2.5 second global cooldown. There is no defending Final Fantasy 14's combat. Zero. None. You can't defend it. I understand why it has a 2.5 second global cooldown. I get it. I didn't have enough endurance. Final Fantasy XIV is good for reasons other than the combat. Right, but that's why it's one of my favorite MMOs ever. But what's the first thing I say about it? One of the first things I say about it is it's shitty combat. Can we all agree we miss the heyday of Arcage? No, I don't miss the heyday of Arcage. Because Arcage came with an inherent flaw. And that flaw was the player base. Arcage was a great game that proved human psychology. Arcage was a great fucking game. Ruined by the player base. You wanna... Can we stop fucking... Can we stop beating the shit out of new... Like, Arcage... Its flaw was it had no ability to acquire new players. And the reason why it had no ability to acquire new players was because players were allowed to act like jackasses. And then when those yeah, all the new players got ganked. Hold on one second. Hello? I will be there. Arcade's biggest flaw was the lack of enforcement on bots. One of them, yes. Now, you couldn't get any plots. I can't talk much because at launch I had 50 plus plots. Because I had played in Korea and I knew the value of property. I also never sold. I never sold any property. Now who's the problem? I'm not the problem. I didn't have 50 plus plots in a non-PvP zone. I went and collected all my shit in Rookborn Basin. Because I made Rookborn cheese. I had one piece of property in Falcorth. And one piece of property in Tiger Spine. No, I like most people, I did the EU alt thing to generate gold to send back to my main. But we did that with one plot. We just had one small 8x8 and all of our alts made tax certs. And we just sold tax certs on EU. Which is another problem. The entire property system in Arcade was so flawed. Yes. Yes, it was. A big problem of the Arcade property system was that property was finite, and instead of allowing you to have more efficient property, you just needed to have more property. I will be right back. Yeah, so if ArcAge had done better with the upgraded properties, then more people would have been able to get involved in having a base, being able to make some gold. But unfortunately, the developers didn't want to understand a Western market is different than a Eastern than the Eastern market. Also remember that when ArcAge was first released, the Korean rules were still in place. So people couldn't have 7 accounts. People couldn't have 7 accounts because they were only allowed to have 1 per ID. Then they changed it. They could have 1 per cell phone, and you could have 3 cell phones. So when ArcAge first launched, it launched where property was paid in gold, not tax certs. So ArcAge up to 0.9, people didn't have massive amounts of land because they couldn't hold that much. Well, the Western audience, it's nothing for a Westerner to get 5 accounts. That's nothing for us. It's absolutely nothing for a Westerner to get 5 or 6 accounts for a game that they like. Shit, I had 6 EVE Online accounts. So when you're building a game as a Korean developer, and you don't think about how Europeans or Westerners are going to interact with that, of course those game systems are going to fall apart. Like Intrepid Studios. What kind of mechanics could a developer use to stop botting but still allow traditional MMO mechanics like trading economy? Well, that's a great question. First of all, you have to decide if you want a player-driven economy or if you want a developer-controlled economy. If you want a player-driven economy, then you have to understand that you are going to have bots. So then you're going to have active GMing. And you're going to have to sit there and you're going to have to ban a lot of accounts. And you're not going to try to do what these companies do, where they let the gold trickle through the economy so that they can attempt to collect all of them. You have to play whack-a-mole. Bot pops up, you ban it, you ban the payment method, the whole credit card, you ban the entire email account, so that, because if you didn't know this about Gmail, you can add +1 to your Gmail account and then it creates another account and they all go to the same email box. Well, you have to straight ban any configuration of that. You also have to make it so that And this is one of the things that might annoy your player base, but you have to have an onboarding tutorial that's not skippable for the first character on the account. So you make like a 2-hour vignette that is your character creation and your playthrough and your tutorial and your combat and your level 1, your mid-range, and your level 50. You do, like, you teach all of that. And so what you do is you make your game less lucrative for botters to come to. Look, man, I gotta sit through a 2-fucking-hour tutorial. Every time we get a bot bashed, we have to sit through a 2-hour tutorial because it requires player interaction. Well, yes, but tell me specifically what's bot behavior. See, the problem is, like, we want to detect bot behavior. But what is bot behavior? Like, you could police the auction house so that people that are undercutting are detected, but then why are then are you okay with not having a player-driven economy? Because a lot of players want a player-driven economy, and that's really all they care about. Well, in a player-driven economy, I have to be able to sell things similar to how they detect if you're a human. Yeah, except they don't. How many bots can bypass it? Tons. What's bot behavior? See, you can't say we're going to design an AI that detects bot behavior and then not be able to define what that bot behavior is. You think bots can't bypass the human check? They do all the time. That's why now they're starting to do things with, like, click on the thing that you would find in this thing. Like, they don't say click on all the windows of the bus because the AI. Some bots do, but I wouldn't say it's tons. Tons do. If bots couldn't bypass it, then why does Cloudflare have to exist? An entire detection service exists when you could just make it so you have to fill it in and get it right, and you can't attempt to connect to the website. Why bother doing all the detecting? Make him fill it out. The problem is, yeah, Cloudflare is it built in similar to Google. It doesn't require an input, but it looks at other attributes. If it doesn't require an input, then it doesn't exist. And I never said it did exist. I said if it existed and it worked, then you wouldn't need Cloudflare. Right, but again, what's bot behavior? What do you want the AI GM to detect? If you can't define what the bot behavior is, then what are you going to program the AI to detect? Precisely what behavior? Like, I'm not against the idea, but you have to have decided, we've determined this is bot behavior. And what about this makes it bot behavior? No, see, in Viz, I'm not asking you to decide for every game. I'm asking you to tell me what is bot behavior, the timing of its abilities. Guess what? There are a lot of bots that aren't a simple loop. A lot of bots, and Fei Lin can program one very quickly. It changes the 10th of a second variable of when the bot inputs its commands So it's randomized. So that a simple bot detector can't detect it. Like, so what is the bot behavior? Like, and then you run into the problem of, if you're going to detect people because of inputs, then you can't have macros. And you can't allow people to program their sexy mouse to input commands. The large majority of bots are simplistic. And the large majority of the bots that are simplistic aren't the fucking problem. I'm going to tell you this because I don't, from the way you're worried about bots, I don't think you are aware of this. Did you know that bots are the small part of the problem? The concierge services that people pay for are a huge part of the problem. There are concierge services that you pay people to play the game for you. Simple bot behavior is if a player is online 24/7, if they're online 23 out of 24 hours a day, ban that motherfucker. Why? Why are you gonna ban me? Because I don't log out. Like during Final Fantasy 14 or Arcade, when the queue was 7,000. Because I used to take a coin. Oh shit, I just stole a horse. 1% of all bots is not a massive number. Yes, it is. It absolutely the fuck is. Playing, right. I used to jam a coin between Q and W on my keyboard on Arcade so my mount would keep running. I get what you're saying, but how many days in a row of 24-hour behavior? And I ask that question as a person who suffers from crippling insomnia. How many there's millions of bots out there. Millions. Fucking millions of them. Final Fantasy 14 will fucking crack over 100,000 bots in a wipe, and then you log in and they're right back. That's why it's the whack-a-mole problem. You have to design your system so that the bots can't be back that fast. Like, you could make a free trial account in Final Fantasy. Go stand. It's not what he said, Invis. He said saying it's. Oh my God, Invis. Yes, there are. There are literally people. There are individuals. There are not even these big organizations. There are individuals who run 20 to 50 bots out of their house. Like, I don't think you know enough about this topic to be in this topic. If they catch 10,000 bots in 2 weeks, how many bots do you think there were? Even there's across all the games, dude, there are billions of fucking bots in gaming because there's hundreds of MMOs. What stops bots from coming to your game is you make it non-profitable. You have to make it so that they don't come to your game. Dude, shut the fuck up. You don't even know what in the fucking piss you are talking about. Most MMOs don't even break 1 million players. The fuck is wrong with you? Old school RuneScape, at the last time I checked, more than 110 million fucking accounts had been made for old school RuneScape. Final Fantasy 14, right? Over 25 million people have made accounts at Final Fantasy 14. WoW, at one point, had 12.8 million players. Lost Ark and New World both had upwards of 900,000 concurrent players. Sure, what MMO the fuck do you want to talk about then? Because, Invis, you're really pissing me off today because you're talking a lot of bullshit. Name an MMO. Name an MMO. Just name one fucking MMO. Name Bless or Elyon or some shit. Sure, those didn't get to 1 million. ArcAge stayed a top 15 MMO in Korea for 10 fucking years. Yeah, you were gonna name Elyon. Congratulations. You named a flop game. Good. I'm glad that your fucking debate wants to be, I'm gonna name an MMO that failed. Rift, Trove, ArcAge, Defiance. In Viz, this is the problem. 100 million bots in MMOs, but not billions. Did we say there's a billion at any one fucking time? MMOs have been around for 20 years, man. There are people who bought innocent behavior. There are people who bought nefarious behavior. But the point goes back to, you can't even define what bot behavior is. Sure, fine. Here, I'll make you happy. Just because it seems like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you today. You're generally not like this, but I'll make you happy. You take 100 million bots, and you reduce the number by 99%. You still have 1 million fucking bots. Isn't 1 million fucking bots still a massive problem? Oh, it is? Cool. Then let's move on. Let's talk about the actual problem, and not how you want to feel about the problem. If we have 100,000 bots and we get rid of 99% of them, 1 million bots across every single MMO is not a huge problem. I'm so thankful that you are not in charge of anything. I really am. You don't think 1 million bots across gaming is not a huge problem? Remember, that's 1 million bots that still remain because you've gotten your cut. Not spread our... Dude, there's... How many MMOs are there? Let's just say there's 100 MMOs out there. Okay? Fair? So, in your opinion, what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 million bots, we're going to divide it among 100 MMOs. That means each game has 10,000 bots operating in it. And you think that's okay? No offense, man, but this is why I constantly say the average gamer shouldn't be involved in conversations about how to fix games. Because even if I concede all the points that you want me to concede, which I will, I'll get to the point, 10,000 bots. No, it's not better than not eliminating 99%. In Viz, what I'm going to say to you is this. There's 100 M&Ms in a bowl, but 3 of them can kill you. But I'll give you $10,000 if you take a handful at random. Because you're confused. Why is it bad to eliminate 99% of bots and then only have to deal with the 1%? Because you're assuming you can deal with the 1%. That's the part of the conversation you got lost in. Even if you can eliminate 99% of the bots, the 1% that remain are the ones you can't deal with. Because if you could deal with them, you would have fucking had your number at 99.5% or 99. Okay, but why not deal with the... They do deal with the 99%. Holy fuck, man. They do deal with the 99%. The fucking damage you see to MMOs is done by the remaining fucking bots. What the fuck? They don't really. What the fuck do you mean they don't really? What the fuck do you mean they're not? Name a game that's not banning bots. No shit, it takes some months. But they're still dealing with them. And then they do a ban wave. And then guess what? Within a day or 2 or 3 days, I know people running very basic bots in WoW that get banned once every 3 to 6 months. Right, they're running very basic bots. What damage are they doing? Because this is why people like you, no offense, man, need to not be in a decision-making matrix. They're running a basic bot. What are they doing? If it's they farm enough gold to be profitable. Okay. How are they doing it? Are they using the marketplace? Are they using the auction house? Because as I was getting to, right, it's not the fucking bots you need to be worried about. It's the concierge services. I know a guy who paid a person in Portugal. I'm sorry, in Brazil. He paid him. I gotta do math. $1,350 a month to do all of his farming for him. The guy was happy. He was working 8-hour days. He was making good money. You're never going to catch that guy. How are you ever going to catch that guy? And I mean that. How are you ever going to catch that? For example, I used to pay for multiple people's game subscriptions. And they used to farm the mats I needed. How are you ever going to catch that? You're not. Okay, well, it's still damaging to the economy. You have a person that's playing the game not because they like the game. They're playing the game because they're being paid to farm. See, the problem is you got to stop saying stuff like, why can't we have AI GMs that can detect bot behavior, but then have no earthly fucking idea of what bot behavior looks like? I could stop all RMT in all games. Don't have anything tradable. If nothing's tradable, there's nothing to RMT. No, if you're too lazy to go through the definition of bot behavior, then you don't need to be in the conversation. That's the problem. Because I didn't say, you're like, I'm too lazy to go through the defining of a bot behavior. Then you can't tell me what behaviors need to be tracked as a gamer? I was the one who asked about it and suggested, right, but it's like this, man. I'm dying of fucking hypothermia, and you want to give me an ice cream cone. It's a nice solution, but give that to me when I'm suffering from hypothermia. Don't give me a fucking ice cream cone if my fingertips are frozen. You're like, can an AIGM bot help? Sure, but what are you going to tell it to do? What behaviors are you going to have it look for? For example, every day when I log in, people hand me gold. Now I get banned because they hand me gold, but I don't give them anything in return. Oh, shit. We didn't do it. All we did was use an AI to look at it. What was that? That was my 5. Right. I didn't say make it a. I said what behaviors. I'll just continue the conversation. I don't need you here for it. I don't know what's up with you today, man. Go get a coffee or get late or something. God damn. You're off today. I used to have 5 officers that would walk up to me once a week and hand me a shit ton of gold and get nothing in the window. We would say nothing in game because we're on Discord. Hey man, I need all 5 teams' contributions for the, because you need to be specific to show that you understand the problem. What are we gonna do? Tag transactions that don't have a reciprocal exchange? Well, when Candrace and Frostpaw and Kia and Wolfus and Sapphire all walk up to me and give me 10,000 gold, and nothing in the exchange and nothing said in game, that's going to flag as suspicious behavior. And in other games, it has flagged as suspicious behavior. The problem is these people are all on my friends list. They're all officers in my guild, and what they're doing is they're paying me for this week's consumables so I can go get all the shit, all the spell books, all the scrolls, all the potions and everything. It's just easier if one person does it. But what do you tag as a bot behavior? There is no such thing as a bot behavior. There is behavior that low-level players do. There is behavior that low-level players do for minimal profit. Why does every Final Fantasy 14 new starting player go out and mine crystals? Because that's what they need. How do you know this person is mining is mining for gold versus mining to use them? What else can they mine? What else can they mine that's profitable? The answer is nothing. So now how do we tell an AI that this behavior is suspicious, please flag it, when we know it's behavior that legitimate players are going to take? I like the point about BDO AFK farming, though Eve has AFK progression and it didn't stop bots. What does Eve having AFK progression have anything to do with Eve's bot problem?
Only the devoted grow the most.
What does Eve's bot problem have anything to do with progression?
Flowers on me. Flowers.
Eve money was never made AFK, really. Back in the day, it could be made with bots. Back when dinosaurs roamed the cosmos and ice was still such a pain in the ass. But now you have people that can go out and get 50,000 ice in an hour. See, the problem is, I don't care if people want to say stuff like, we need to address botting. But when you say companies aren't addressing it, companies are addressing it. The problem is, you can't address it. WoW Classic bots running ZG over and over, sure. But how do you know? So the only solution to that then is, it's the what and the how. You're right. But you're assuming you can detect a bot. You're assuming everybody writes their bot so that it is inputting everything on a same repetitive nature so it's easy to flag. Those are the simple bots. The ones that are complex are the ones that aren't running things on one singular script. They're the ones that look like regular players. If the bot is using the exact DPS pattern, the exact input 20 times in a row, that's a bot. No, it's not. It's not a bot. I can tell you it's not a bot because when I played Arcage, when we sat there and we did our grinding in the library, I had a one button macro so that I could play with my daughter. I literally stood in the center of the room while we were grinding, and I had I had my 4 spell songs, and unless somebody fucked up their pull in their rotation, my 4 songs were just on one Logitech script. So if somebody was looking for bot behavior, it would have been like, holy shit, Jalan is botting, and it would have been like, holy shit. A macro is a bot, it's just an allowed bot. Well, right, but I'm still there. I'm still present. I'm still at my computer. I'm not botting because although it is automated, I'm here. If a GM walks up to me, I can answer. Why are you running a macro? Because I'm playing with my daughter?
Do you recognize Forgive us. I have sinned. The flowers bloom.
Why do you need me? Why do you need me to sit here and keep inputting the same command over and over? But the problem is, everybody who says we need to detect bots, they get rid of tens of thousands. Tens of thousands. The ones that are left are the ones that cause the damage. Yeah, you do the same. You watch a movie and you do the same thing over and over and over again. Are people gonna say that's a bot? One way that you can detect bots is by cursor movement. Since a human does not move theirs perfectly straight, while bots often do. Some bots still get around this though. That's the point. Right. The path isn't the issue, it's the timing. Humans will have small, indiscrete differences, and so do the good bots. And that's the piece that he wasn't getting. Simple bot detection is the same reason why you have a thumbbolt front door. You have a thumbbolt front door, or you have a privacy lock on your bathroom to keep honest people honest. You don't have... You don't have, a deadbolt on your bathroom door. Well, I assume you don't. I assume you don't have... Yeah, I made a bot that made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten all the peanut butter out of my hair. And you're right. That can happen. Right? The bots can go off and do weird shit. But, like, one of the things people in EVE Online used to do is early on, when you have simple bots, what you do is you bump the bot away from its can, and then the bot is programmed to drop another can. Well, oh. Yeah, challenge failed. The other thing you could do with bots is you could go up to them and you could drop a can next to them. And they would start putting shit into your can, and then their hauler would come out and it would sometimes grab out of yours. But this is 20 years ago. Bots have gotten more sophisticated. We don't see the hordes of bots that descend upon us without the current anti-bot measures. You're right. Yeah. And that's the problem. When people say, well, it sounds like you're justifying bots. I'm not justifying bots. I hate bots. I think they need to go away. I think they're a plague on both our houses. But it's about understanding. You have to design what they put in to stop. I'm just interested. I haven't played EVE in a long time. What they do to stop AFK covert op ships. Because that was always a big one. I had 3 emergency sinos on my left machine. I just fucking cloaked them and put them in places people weren't going to accidentally warp through me. What'd they do? Because that's actually really interesting to me. Because that right there was a big problem. Speaking of, sometimes you gotta... 40 million a pop, put it down, it pings every 10 minutes and has a chance to decloak you. Yeah, well, see that's a good solution. Hello? Hello? Why are you in a tree? I just fucking throw rocks at me. Stop clawing me. See, like I said, it's not about... Players want to solve things in a really dumb way. Players are like, just ban all the bots. But they have no earthly idea what the answer is. What behaviors are you designating as bot behaviors? So, for example, how do you get around... How do you get around the idea of the answer being not just ban all the bots? Okay, well, first of all, make direct player-to-player trading not possible unless you've been on each other's friends list for 60 days. And then you can do an exception to this if there's a family system. And so you have to have been on somebody's friend list for 60 days. You have to have been in the same guild for 30 days. You have to have been in the same family for 7 days. Well, now, what you're doing is you're risking people, or people are now going to have to risk, right? A lot more personal identification. If they're suddenly going to party in family and guild gold sellers, then the issue is you let everybody know, if we find a gold seller in your family or a gold seller who has ever been in your family, we're going to investigate your account. Well, is that going to stop everybody? No, but again, it's not about every measure stopping everybody. It's about some measures being just enough that you make people scared enough. Fuck, this guy's whooping my ass. It's about making people scared enough that they know you could conceivably fuck your guild over, fuck your family members over, your friends, the people you know out of game. And because that's a high possibility, you're going to see a lot more people not even want to deal with the possibility of getting in trouble. But what that's going to do is that's going to make your game less attractive to gold sellers. And the moment the game is less attractive to gold sellers, you're not going to find them there. It's not the trick of over-policing and getting rid of them. The trick is... Damn it. In-game sound is stuttering a bit. That's just kind of how the game sounds like sometimes. Yeah. I was using Cloud Step. That particular boss prompts you for Cloud Step. You can't hardware ban people. Hardware bans are... Shit, man. I have no fucking programming skills. The only way you could ever hardware ban somebody, the worst you could ever do, would be to cut a deal with Microsoft and ban their ban their Windows IP address, or I'm sorry, ban their Windows key. That's about the best you'd be able to do. People are like, well, you could ban their network card. Yeah. And it takes a complete fucking idiot 15 minutes to spoof their NIC card. So what are you going to do with people who actually know what they're doing? No. Let me stop you. No, the fuck it can't be done. No, the fuck it can't be done. It can't be done, okay? Because the United States courts have already ruled against it. The only thing that you could possibly do is ban their Ethernet card. And that takes 15 minutes to change. You can't do a fucking IP ban. People don't have static IPs. The courts have already ruled that you can't access information like their motherboard information because you're not allowed to. So, the only way you could do that is if you contracted with Microsoft. And Microsoft would say, the only thing we can do is work with you to design a security system that fucking bans their Windows key. Well, why the fuck is Microsoft going to take all that heat from people, right? They're not going to get in bed with that because it's not worth it. You can't hardware ban people. I hate motherfuckers who come up with this idea of, yes, another issue with motivation. The problem is, you're like, we could just hardware ban people, except you could hardware ban about 20% of the people. And do you think the 20% of people that can't figure out how to get around a hardware ban are the people, honest to God, do you think those are the people that are your problem? No, you cannot make... I'm gonna stop because... Wait, most people using bots and hacks are not experts. You need to stop now. You need to stop. Because I don't know what's going on with you today. No, they don't. Stop. I'm gonna tell you this. You don't know what in the motherfuck you're talking about. You don't know what the motherfuck you're talking about. You are talking about anecdotal because you know a guy who bought a bot off of Discord. You think you understand how botting works in gaming. You are fucking not even qualified to be in this conversation. We're not talking about the fucking guy who's running one bot. We're talking about the fucking criminal organizations that fucking run fucking server racks of bots because There's no fucking criminal liability. It's civil liability. You're confusing aim assist bots that people use like for Counter-Strike against criminal organizations that like we could fucking deal dope. We can deal in fucking WoW currency. One of those is a civil crime. One of those is a criminal crime. That's a no-brainer. You need to stop now, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and now you're straight pissing me off. We're gonna do hardware bans. Really? How? How? How are you gonna do a hardware ban? Explain to me how exactly you believe that works. Because it doesn't. Yeah, we're gonna do a hardware ban. Microsoft can't even remember my fucking hardware for me when I fucking have to reinstall my, you know, my operating system. But a company can. It is illegal to collect the data, actually. It is illegal to collect it. So, get fucked. This is why. The user cannot agree to rights if there is a requirement for explicit consent. Terms of service is not explicit consent when they are hundreds of pages long. So, in Viz, how does easy anti-cheat work? Really? You don't even know how easy anti-cheat works, and you're gonna say, how does it work? Guess what? Easy anti-cheat doesn't work. You wanna know a really funny thing about easy anti-cheat? You can close it locally after the game starts up, and most games don't shut down. That's how piss poorly it works. That's whichever company it was, Valorant, I think it was, with their anti-cheat software. The courts told them no. No, they're not collecting hardware IDs. All EAC does is check for a list of known programs that are running when you load. If you're running one of those programs, Easy Anti-Cheat stops the loading process of the game you want. Because it'll say, you have this known exploit, hack, bot, whatever. So I'm halting the loading of this application. That's why EAC loads first. If you load it after you've started playing, EAC will flag shut down the game. Funny enough, you can load a game like Ashes of Creation Apocalypse that has Easy Anti-Cheat running, let the game fully load, Control-Alt-Tab, or Control-Alt-Delete, load Task Manager, end process on Easy Anti-Cheat, and Ashes of Creation Apocalypse wouldn't shut down. So do me a favor, man. Since you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, jump out of the conversation. Like, you're saying that the bots were worried about, and I tried to get you to this point, and you wanted to keep going down. Who fucking cares about the 99% of fucking bots that people download from Discord? They're not even the fucking problem. You're worried about the fucking hooker giving blowjobs on the corner for 20 bucks to people she knows. And you're not worried about the fucking full semi of trafficked slaves right around the corner. Like, put your eye on the problem. Who fucking cares if somebody has a bot that lets them mine 200 iron ore while they go make a sandwich? I mean, I care, but at the end of the day, that's not even relevant. I'm worried about the person that has 2,000 bots that mine every scrap of iron across all the servers that are connected by the auction house, so the only place to get it from is them. I care about the bots that interfere with players trying to get through progression, because without those players being able to get through progression, they're not going to stay in the game. They're going to quit. When the game quits, we don't have players anymore. That's what I care about. Okay? But this idea that you're like, we can hardware ban people, and how? Yes, exactly. Yes. Easy anti-cheat and anti-cheat programs are not there to... They simply cannot stop people who want to cheat. They stop the people who want to cheat but don't know how to cheat. Like I say this all the time, and I'm not bullshitting you. You can put the and I've done this with security work. I've had people call the company when I worked in security. I worked in locksmithing. People would come out and they'd buy these $400 fucking deadbolts. These expensive as fuck deadbolts. And I'd say, you know, for another 20 bucks, I can actually make it so that your door won't just get kicked in. And then they're like, well, you guys sold me the deadbolt. I'm like, yeah, but you still have 3-inch screws connecting your hinges. Great. You have a $400 deadbolt. I'm going to go to the other side of the door. I'm going to put my heel on it. I'm going to heel kick the lower hinge, and I'm going to kick the lower hinge right out of the door frame. And once I do that, I'm going to be able to just push your door open. It's not about... I think it would be more profitable and less risky for devs of the bots to just sell them, not use them. They're distributors. I don't have concise proof of this, but if you have proof that it's mostly run by developer organizations, then I'm open to it. It's not run by the devs. It's run by the internet mafia. It's run by criminal organizations that have kids, young adults locked in a room. What do you... Dude, what the fuck do you mean it would be better for the developers of the bots to sell them? Developers of the bots do sell them. Like, what are you fucking talking about? The developers of the cheat bots do sell them. Or, the ones that are given away, they're given away because, right, they sell them. Individuals not updating their own bots. Correct. We're all on the same page. Individuals aren't making their own bots. For the most part. There are some individuals that make their own bots, but not very often. It's generally a person is buying a bot. But do you know why they sell you a bot? Why do you think so many people's MMO accounts get compromised? Here's the piece that the dumbass gamer doesn't get. You bought that bot. You bought that bot for $19.99. It's cheaper than to develop the bot and sell it than run it and hope for RMT. No, it's not. What are you talking about? See, again, no offense, but you haven't done any research. Yeah, they do both. They sell the bot, and then they use it. Because, again, where's the risk? Where is the risk? They're technically breaking the terms of service of a video game. They're not committing a crime. As long as they deliver what they say they're going to deliver, they haven't actually broken the law. So, why would you assume they're not running server farms and RMTing? Because they are. Like, this is what just baffles me about people. Where the fuck do you think all the bot problems come from? You need to look up the UN Office on Drugs and Crime. Video game gold is being used as an untraceable type of currency because it has a tangible value. Now, there are locations that get swatted because of criminal ties. Why do you think they've offloaded? And Salty, I'll have to give you the examples because it's his talking point. But why do you think these organizations have gotten into gold selling? Why do you think they're interested in doing that? Because you're right. There's no criminal fuckery there. Why would I want to? Yeah, because you can't track video game gold as easily. I mean, the companies are supposed to be able to. But if I know I can give you 50,000 of this currency, and that's 50 units that sell for $10, well, there's some value there. See, this is the problem. You're saying, well, why can't they hardware ban? Because you can't. Because now, why can Nintendo or Xbox ban your console? Because it's a little bit different. Because when you buy a PC, it's a personal computer. When you buy a video game console, you're entering into a hardware software usage agreement. Do I agree with it? No. Do I like it? No. Do I think it's right? No. But that's how it is. If you say you're not going to modify your PlayStation 5, and they find out you modified your PlayStation 5 in order to play cracked games, and they can remotely detect it, they can brick your system. Da-da-da-da. The reason why, and I had to pull up the list of states, the reason why you cannot have a simple terms of service, because you said, from everything I'm seeing, yeah, well, that's great. The problem is, are you familiar intimately with Colorado law, Connecticut law, Virginia law, Utah, California, Oregon, and Texas? Because in Texas, my hardware ID is covered as personal data, which means you must protect it as personal data. California must give you an opt-out. Utah has hardware ID that falls under personal data. Virginia requires opt-in for sensitive data. So if in Virginia, I say my hardware ID includes biometric identification information, now you're fucked, you can't even store it. In Connecticut, you need to have explicit consent. In Colorado, you have to have opt-in consent. That's why companies aren't going to collect it. Because I moved. But you didn't. I moved. I sent you a generic email that says I've moved. How many times do companies even track your address? If you opt out, couldn't they just deny service? Right. That is the difference between explicit and implicit consent. Implicit consent. I'm from Illinois. If I sign your terms of service, then is all approved because my state doesn't say it needs explicit consent. However, if a company were to record my voice, they have to give me notification, not just once, that they might collect my voice. They have to give me notification each and every time they make a recording of my voice. Because that is my state's law. That is a requirement. I didn't want you. Unfortunately, for companies that don't like and or agree with it, it is not their state law that applies. It is the more restrictive of both of our state laws. Meaning, that's just like the people who think that they can call Disney and video record the DAS interviews. And then these people are finding out, these people are calling in trying to get their kid their disability access service, and then they're recording it, and then they're going to get to a lawyer with the video recording, and the lawyer is like, I don't want that. And they're like, why? They're like, because that's illegally obtained evidence. I don't want that. Number one, you agreed to not record. That is the most restrictive. Number two, Florida is a two-party consent state, which means you needed that person's consent to record. And since obviously the company has decided they're not allowing anybody to give consent, remember, your company can decide the word no for you when no is the more protective answer. And your company can decide the word yes for you when the word yes is the more protective answer. They can't agree or disagree for something when it lessens your protections. We don't allow anybody to record our employees. Well, I want to give people permission to record me. Yes, but we're saying no, and the word no is more protective. We're giving anybody that permission to record you. No, that's my personal right. The company can't do that. Do I know how it works across countries? Yeah, in Europe, the GDPR applies to your hardware identification information because it's considered personal data, which means you have to give people from Europe, if you collect any data on them that's classified as personal, you number one have to give them the right to tell you to get rid of it. Number two, you have to tell them, like, if you're from Europe and you find out a company had this information about you, they have to tell you what information they had about you, and then they have to get rid of it. You can deny service. In Europe, if I deny you service because I don't have that information, I have to be able to articulate why I'm denying you service. But if I can articulate why I'm denying you service, then you're just denied service. It's just, that's just how it is. How the hell did I end up with the Whirl Snow set? Absolutely not the set I wanted, but it's what I have. How's the combat? It's action combat, so I generally try to not give an opinion on action combat because it's not fair. But what I will say is there's not enough variety of moves for the combat to be meaningful and impactful. Like, I have tilde, Q, tab, R, and left mouse button, and right mouse button. Right mouse button is block, left is your basic attack. R is normally your heavy attack, except in this build. R is your burst skill. Plus 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, but the problem with 1, 2, 3, and 4 is 1, 2, 3, and 4 are your mystic skills. Like Cloud Step. Cloud Step is okay in combat. Meridian Touch is kind of rough to pull off. Leaping Toad is really good as a knockback. I like Veil of Silence because then you could just assassinate people. But yeah, it's so weird because it's tilde Q W E R 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, come on. Like, what are we doing? But no, back to the whole botting problem. It's not about creating technological solutions to stop the botting. It's about, because when you build a better mousetrap, somebody just builds a better mouse. So it's not about turning around and saying, how do we get into this long debate and this long conversation? Hey, what's up? About how we're going to fix things. Yeah, it's to make large-scale botting unprofitable. Like I said, one thing that you could do is you could make it so that you can't directly trade with somebody who hasn't been on your friends list for 60 days. And if you did that, and you tell people, hey, just to let you know, why are you pushing me? Jerk, stop it, you're making me sick. That shit's gonna cause a seizure. Good. Yeah, some people botting here and there are not gonna kill your game. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that people botting aren't crushing the economy. And if you can do that, then you look from that spot forward and you say, how do we address economic impacts from botting? Okay, so you can't free trade with somebody unless they've been on your friends list for 60 days. You have to have been in the same guild for 30 days, or you have to have been in the same family for 7 days. Okay. I think that right there limits the doorways to when they can bot or who they can find customers for. You also tell people, like Intrepid Studios did, but then we're completely ill-equipped to do it. If we find out you've received illicit gold, we're going to ban you. Our policy is this: if you buy gold, you will be banned. I don't think I have Buddhist Palm yet. But the other thing is you don't have a game that has useless low-level crafting. Like, one of the things I thought Ashes of Creation did very well was their idea kind of on paper, their idea of glint. I don't like how they turned what they turned glint into, but glint has some practical value and maybe kind of sort of reducing gold selling. Maybe. But what it also does is it radically impacts being able to say we're a player-driven economy. And that's okay. You don't necessarily have to have a, oh my god, what the fuck, barbecue chicken, this is badass player-driven economy. There are some things that you could do in a controlled economy. And like I said, if you combine that with a long character creation / tutorial / vignette that can't be skipped, that means every time they get banned, they're gonna have to play through the tutorial again. And if that's a multiple hour investment, eventually what's going to happen is they're going to say, you know what? It's not worth it. Because every time we get banned, we're losing production time. It's one of those, if they have to spend a lot of time to make $1 over here, or they can go over there and make 75 cents, they're going to go over there and make 75 cents. Because then they're not losing time, because time is money. Time is money, friend, and you're short on both. And I think that's totally okay. Where's the other one? Okay. And you're right. I would much rather play a game that has 0 bots. Absolutely. If I could play a game with 0 bots, that's what I would want to do. But I also know that's not very realistic. Hi, guys. I'm kind of glad I just got done playing Bloodlines. At being sneaky and shit really does help. Haven't seen this one before. This one is really good. This is Where Winds Meet. And it supposedly has 150 hours of solo player content, plus all of the online content. It's a single player co-op and MMO all rolled into one. So far, they did make a couple of mistakes in my oh so humble opinion with launch. They shouldn't have launched on a Friday if the week starts on a Sunday. Because people that played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're already kind of far ahead in their sect. Because of when you level up weekly. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to launch on a Friday anyway. I think there's certain value in starting on a Tuesday. Am I going to try Payon? No. I'll look into it now that I know about it. Oh, Aeon 2? No. I'm not gonna try Aeon 2. The first thing I heard about Aeon 2 was that it's pay to win. They wanted to launch it on the weekend maybe, but I wanted to ask how's the co-op. The co-op is good. The co-op is good. There is a trinity. There are tanks, there are healers, there are damage dealers. They aren't exactly the most robust yet. No, actually, that's a great question. Do you only get to co-op in specific parts? Let me show you something. No, don't laugh at me because it's gonna... Oh, I gotta finish this and then I'll show you. Why am I still here? I shall ascend and repent. Good. Well, Salty, it's because Sunday is the reset. Because this game resets on Sunday, and all the weeklies are tabulated for Sunday, I don't think it was a good idea. Well, they didn't... In China... Yeah, some of it launched on Saturday in the morning. You're gonna have to forgive me. I'm still learning where everything is. This Ashes of Creation needs to just steal this. Imagine that. Imagine that. This game does everything Ashes says it wanted to do, and it does it better. You want holly trees? They're down there. You want ancient pines? They're over there. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit. By the way, I swear to God, somebody from this studio has been sitting in my fucking chat for weeks, years, listening to my ideas. By the way, I want to ask, can I create some cool and attractive arts for your channel, please? You can create whatever you want. I ain't paying you shit. You can create whatever you want. If it's good, I'll showcase it, create a Fiverr account, I'll send people to you. I have a professional studio that did all of my art design, and then I don't even use that. So, where the fuck? Oh. Multiplayer. So this is really, really cool. Oh, nope, you don't get to advertise on my channel, I'm sorry. Where the fuck is it? Oh, casual co-op. It's right in front of me. Have fun and win adventure slips. You can literally do events that aren't just combat. Part of the healer was really cool. You go into a town, you try to save the lives of the people, you fail. Wellahellness special training, you run around. The 5 animal frolics and the scholar's hearth, I have to do both of those every day because it's part of my sect. Blessed lands, you can just visit and, you know. But yeah, you can do a lot of group stuff that's just leisure. Wrestling, pitch pot, riddles, Medeo cards, which I do not understand. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can do that's just casual. Yeah, I hate. Okay. Salty bread. I hate the fact that this is true, and I hate this fact that this sounds somewhat racist, but it's the truth, so it's not racist. Every Asian game I've ever fucking played has Asian menu syndrome. Every fucking one. Asian menu syndrome. What we are going to do is we are going to have 19 fucking menus, and everything is going to be buried underneath 7 menus that have nothing to do with each other. We're going to put things in an order that nobody understands. Why can't there... Okay, so why do I have to hit M and then come over to challenge, energy challenge, and then multiplayer, which isn't even what I want, and then hit escape and get to what I want? If I go there, it's there, right? Why can't we have like a button that says, like, why do we gotta put cutesy names for everything? Why do we gotta call it wandering paths? Why can't we do like, you know, like quest? I like that. Quests. In progress, main story, lost chapter, encounter exploration. That's cool. I don't think we needed to trim this off though. Like, who designed this fucking menu? Jalan with his shitty design skills? Like, there's no reason. Like, I'll show you where you put in the special codes if you get a giveaway code. Other. Exchange code. Shouldn't redeem code be like in the first fucking setting? I mean, isn't that once people get their game set up, isn't that where people are going to go into the menu most often for? When was the last time you were in your settings menu? I don't know. Well, I've got this giveaway code. Fuck. It's like when people don't want your giveaway codes because it takes too long to get to the fucking menu. By the way, speaking of codes and giveaways and cosmetics, anybody want to bet that Intrepid Studios doubles back now and resells all of their old cosmetics to their Steam customers? And they try to justify it with some bullshit like, well, these new people didn't have a chance to buy. And apparently, the game has been out for about a year. Reset my collar. Give me Throne and Liberty vibes for some reason. You know, Throne and Liberty was a fucking embarrassment. Throne and Liberty was a fucking was fucking terrible. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the audio from this particular game. The audio from the gaming PC goes to the streaming PC via a cable. I wonder if it's when I'm talking. I wonder if you guys are hearing some of it through the microphone, and it's probably like 1/10 of a second off. I just need to... It's all the time? That's weird. Well then, thank you for letting me know. No, the cords are fine. If the cord was damaged, I'd lose the visual as well. I will, there's a solution I can do. It's just a bit of a pain in the ass, but I can do it. Okay, so then what I'll have to do is, there should be absolutely no reason why my audio monitoring device should have anything to do, because, but I have no idea. My CPU is not at 100% because I'm on a 2 PC setup. I can promise you my CPU is not at 100%. Because this isn't even connected to the gaming PC. I have no idea why, though. That shouldn't... Because I'm only using it. Am I running Minecraft with shaders on in the background? No. That's so bizarre, because I'm not even... Because as far as my gaming or my streaming PC is concerned, my Logitech headset is what's hooked up. I'll just move the Doppler from my gaming PC to my streaming PC when I stream. You can change world time in solo. Yep. It's so that you don't get stuck waiting for nighttime events. You can change the time so that you can go right to, like, if it says do this event at nightfall in an open world game, you're stuck waiting for actual nightfall. But in a solo game, you can just manipulate the time. But then if you go back to the world, is there any open world co-op? There's online world co-op. Let me see. The hell am I? Talk to this guy right here. Hey, what's up, buddy? I love how people put like signposts and they'll be like chest here. Be like, thanks. If Okay, so first of all, solo mode, online mode, enter. Entering online mode. Hey, there's people. Look at all these people. Look at all these players. Look at all these peeps. Profession. No jobs. Oh. How many players can be on a server? Okay. As far as I know, as far as I'm aware, and I could, and I probably am wrong. Everybody's on one server. Oh yeah, so like okay. Everyone's on one realm. I shouldn't say everyone's on one server, because obviously not everybody's on one piece of hardware. Oh yeah, we're rocking the pink flower. The pink flower is definitely getting rocked. Oh, I like that better. Oh yeah. We're rocking the orange glass. It's the one eye. Of course, I got my backpack full of bushes. And for some odd reason, I could carry a dead duck with me. Or a dead pigeon. Fuck's sake, game. What the fuck? So yeah, you can sit here and you can hope to pick up Where's this gone? That's a snack for later. See, there's people who are just clicking on the looking at the healer thing. What's going on here? No bounties. Trial. No bounties. Vendetta. Profession. Right now we have two professions. We have scholar and we have physician. Defeat animal, white-browed goose. Defeat character, roadside bandit. Defeat character, bamboo gatherer. Going to solo mode. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff to do. Bounty successful. Now, is there going to be enough meaningful open world content down the road? That I don't know. There's target tracking on the map by species. Yes. Cricket. Firefly. Rain frog. Chickens. By the way, if you are going to play this game, my single piece of advice for you, don't fuck with the geese. Do not fuck with the geese. The geese have the right of way. I'll fight a bear. I'll fight a dragon. I'll fight a boss. I'll fight whatever.
Young master, did you help chase away those birds?
I didn't get my ass kicked. What? That goose is angry and keeps coming. Like, I thought the quest was gonna be... You failed to... throw him in the water. And so, you have to try again. Oh, no. No, no, no. No, oh, you failed to throw him in the water? That's cool. He's gonna come fuck your shit up. And he's gonna keep fucking your shit up. Yeah, begun the Geese Wars have. Yeah, like right now there's so many healers on. And a lot of these people, you're trying to help them, but they won't accept the invite. You have to travel to them. Some people don't give a shit. And they let themselves stay injured. Other people just go to the clinic.
What? Speak up! I can't hear you! Oh, it's you. I don't know what happened. He came at me to test his words against mine. Couldn't make heads or tails of what he was saying. The manual? That. I used it before I could read. I can't help that. Tried many times. Why don't you try?
Rhetorical duel. He's bluster. So we will go filibuster. Once you know what all the cards do, it becomes a lot easier.
My mistake. Let's find young Shinsa. She's...
All right. I'm actually going to take off a little bit early. My wife isn't feeling good. I want to make sure I'm about in case she needs anything. This is going to be what I do all week. Between this and Once Human, I got to actually log into Once Human. I got to log in to just do my, hey, I'm in. Then I got to go. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Actually, one of these days we'll probably talk about Ashes. I'll do that. See you guys then.
I wonder if the organic meat sack that runs this channel knows a lot of these sponsors don't sponsor us anymore.
They were longtime sponsors. The credits are fine.
Do we get paid? Is any of this sponsorship money for Gale, Daisy, the Chaos Fund?